This might sound arrogant, and if it is, it is. We're Michigan.
I'm telling them it's not over. It's just starting. It's not over. It'll never be over here.
Welcome back. Final segment of this week's Bitter Rivals with Ted and Tom. It's Michigan-Ohio State. The greatest rivalry in college football. And all the sports is coming down. Dick Vitale might say Duke and North Carolina in basketball. But it's Michigan-Ohio State. The Wolverines is payback time. 7 straight times, Ted.
That's not a rivalry. I mean, when you lose 7 straight times, that's like losing 4 in a row. The rivalry is over with.
It definitely hurts, and this is the time. Michigan has got to take advantage of this opportunity. The Buckeyes come in with a 6-5 record, kind of spiraling. They get their head coaching situation is up in the air.
I want to remind you, this game, depending on the outcome, is going to make one of us Nostradamus in terms of prognosticating, and the other one's going to have egg on his face.
Well, I predicted
3 weeks ago, you said Michigan was going to run the table. And since you made that prediction, they've won 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
This would be the 3rd.
Yeah, and
I said at the beginning of this 4-game run, you were going to be 2-2.
Right, right.
So, you know, one of us is going to be right. And the
I'm
other
going to be
one's
slightly wrong on my overall projection because at the start of the year, I predicted Michigan would win 9 games in the regular season.
Well, if you lose, you'll be spot on.
I don't want to be
spot on. You lose, you'll have egg on your face, and you'll be spot on. Think about that.
I don't want to be spot on. I want the Wolverines to win this game in the worst way. They're 2000.
Well, you should.
John Navarre was the
8
quarterback.
years.
I know John Navarre was the quarterback on that team. That shows you how far back.
I say you don't protect that rivalry because it hasn't been a rivalry for almost a decade.
No, it still lives on. It's going to be great. I think Michigan's going to, their defense is going to definitely show up in this game. The emotion will be extremely high. Meanwhile, in Evanston, you're going down to Ryan
Party
Field,
time in Chi-Town.
which will be, as I mentioned early in the show, will be like at least like a Texas OU game where it's half and half. I think it's probably going to be 60-40 Michigan State.
Now, this is the problem. We were talking about this on the way over to the studio. My problem is I bought my tickets through Michigan State and the visitors' tickets. My feeling is if I had just waited, I could have gotten probably 50-yard line tickets through StubHub or something like that because the students aren't going to be there. It's Thanksgiving weekend. There's going to be a lot of Spartans in there either visiting or they live in Chicago, or it's a great 3-day weekend to go there on Friday, go to the game on Saturday. My family's doing what we regularly do when we go to Chicago. We're going to Second City. I would recommend that to anybody. Funniest stand-up. And the game, noon kickoff, so I got to figure out how to go from the Hilton Garden Inn right there by Michigan Avenue, take the red line to the purple line to Central Avenue and walk into the game.
It's good because, like we've mentioned before, the parking, you got to have a premium parking spot to go to Ryan Field. But a great setting there as far as going to a game. You don't have a crowd that's in your face. And, this is kind of a geeky school, if you will, so they don't have the animosity-filled fans.
Hey, my daughter was this far from going to Northwestern, and I was both upset she didn't get in and happy I didn't have to write that $40,000 check.
Or $50,000. It's crazy. But I'm telling you what, Northwestern's a weird team. They went to Lincoln, Nebraska, and accomplished something that Michigan State could not accomplish when they went to Lincoln, Nebraska.
This is not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination.
No, you're going to be sweating little bullets early on.
Dan Persa is a very good quarterback, and again, yet another run-pass combination quarterback. Probably the combination of the two of the best in the league. Even better than Russell Wilson, because I think he's a better runner than Russell Wilson.
So my little fantasy, obviously, is that Michigan State loses to Northwestern, loses the Big Ten title game, loses a bowl game, ends up with a 9-5 slate. I'd pay money for that.
Not going to happen.
You don't think.
Ifs and buts were candy.
So what? Predict what's going to happen these final 3 games for your team, and I'll predict what's going to happen from final 2 games of my team.
I think Northwestern game's going to be closer because I think that anyone that's dinged up at all is not going to play. You'll probably see Lippett again instead of Darqueze Dennard. I think that Dan Persa will create problems as the best run-pass combination quarterback, but they'll win that game. And I believe they're going to beat Wisconsin. I think we're going to have Will Golston, which we didn't have in the first game. We're going to have a very representative crowd. It's not going to be a home crowd, but it's going to be a representative crowd. And I think
you won't match what Wisconsin will bring.
Oh, absolutely we will.
Oh.
I guarantee it.
I promise you.
I already got my ticket.
I don't care about you. You don't represent all those crazies up in Madison. They will be there.
They may be there, but they're only going to get a certain amount of tickets.
Well, whatever. But they'll aggressively buy their way in. It's a higher priority for apathetic. At least your students won't show up.
What's their choice? Sit at home and eat cheese? There's nothing going on in Wisconsin.
Well, whatever the reason, they're going to be there. So I think Wisconsin's going to win. And then the bowl game. Let's say you win that game, you go to the Rose Bowl. How are you going to do against the Ducks?
Well, is the Ducks guaranteed? I mean,
it doesn't matter. How about Stanford there?
I think we probably match up better with Stanford than
everybody
with Oregon.
matches up better with Stanford. That speed of Oregon. I don't know how they lost that game. USC's a really good football team when they want to be.
Yeah.
And
that was their bowl game. You know, they're not bowl eligible because of the probation.
Because they cheated.
Yeah.
Like Michigan State did in the mid-70s.
Like Michigan cheated with the extra practice. Anyway, you're still on probation, right?
No.
The extra practice hours,
anyway.
Right? So get this, Tom. Michigan's on probation. Ohio State's ready. Penn State, you know they're going to get something.
There are different degrees of
So you get rid of the
wrongdoing.
Marquee brands and let these newcomers like Michigan State
Newbies.
be in the spotlight, as they deservedly should be.
Whatever, we're going to break it all down. Have a great Thanksgiving week. Enjoy the games on Saturday. Back next week. Bitter Rivals with Ted and Tom.
LSU rivalry has gone. It's gone, well, frankly, to the billboards. Check out what we found out last night. Near the Frandor Shopping Center in East Lansing, a digital billboard ripping Michigan just every way you can, minutes after the game. It's sponsored by Bitter Rivals, who started a website called MichiganIsOurLittleSister.com. There are 8 different images, and they will be up all week in Frandor and one on I-96. Bitter Rivals paid a few $1,000s for those, and you can get all sorts of mementos if you go there. Really? If you're really into the little sister thing and you really want to rub it into your Michigan fan.
All right.
They got it covered.
Well,